Good evening, everybody. Today's date is currently October 31st, which means it's Halloween. That means the ghosts are out gallivanting, the skeletons will be dancing soon, a couple people are probably in sugar comas, and the scariest thing you're going to see all night is our four faces. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Bay City Chronicles issue 2.4, Whispers of the Golden City. I am your host and GM, The Greenleaf Effect. And you'll notice we are sans one of our lovely little, I don't want to say idiots because that's, too mean, but victims, since it's Halloween, we'll go victims. Narastra is currently on dad percent doing the whole trick-or-treating thing. So we'll be dealing with that at a later date. But we still have the other three gallivanters ready to go. We've got, you can see him waving there. We've got OPT Lawyer playing the one and only Lutra.
Hello.
We have got Dark Fowls playing Malakir.
Good evening, everyone.
And we have got Crimson Avix playing the now newly christened Phantasm, assuming he can get his name right this week. So, for those of you who weren't here last week, why weren't you here last week? And go get on that. But anyway, a quick little recap is after coming out of the wormhole-like state thing in the Bermuda Triangle, our heroes discovered that they'd been gone for a couple months. And some crazy things had happened, and they still needed to find their friend Spectre. So between a couple of random instances and a Air Force cadet being shipped into Dr. Casey to get research over symptoms of radiation poisoning, with no radiation present, they decided and discovered that they need to probably go to Colorado Springs. Once there, they had a lovely little encounter at Auto Rocket's ale house, where a bunch of stoners discovered that Malakir was their favorite lighter.
Also, no one was bouncing. I don't understand that.
Yeah. Lutra discovered beer. And we determined Lutra is, in fact, a stout lover. Just wait till we get him the fisheye wine.
Well, I have the feeling he's going to be a very big connoisseur of that.
And they learned that there was an abandoned power plant that sort of fit the needs of every stereotypical creepy, evil, bad guy in existence. They followed that up there where they were ambushed by what appeared to be a sort of vagabond-looking individual who was apparently guarding Phantasm's comatose body for some reason. A fight ensued. Turns out Anton now has a necklace that gives him earth powers. Malakir can shoot fire, and Lutra doesn't like his fur getting burnt.
No! No! No!
And the AI is still having trouble getting the smell of burnt otter out of the jet.
Well, I mean, not my fault.
But they did manage to get Phantasm back. And just a reminder that everyone is going to start, well, OPT and Dark are going to start with one hero point, and Crim's not going to start with a hero point because he beat me in fantasy football this week.
That is DM abuse, so I get 2 hero points now for you trying to do that.
Nope, no abuse. They can come and go as I please. But anyway,
yes,
we did.
So can I.
I mean, if you want to run, by all means, I got characters ready to go for days, man. Anyhow, we are now back in at the headquarters. Everyone's sort of doing their own random thing, which probably includes Malakir doing yet another Sudoku. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to issue 2.4, Whispers of the Golden City. So this is the sort of morning after everything in Colorado Springs. Is anybody doing anything right now?
Well, morning after, I'd probably be in my normal place up on the roof.
Ooh, doing some roof meditation. I mean, it's your typical August now morning in the Bay Area, so it's moist and hot.
You just had to use that word, didn't you?
What, hot?
No.
So
Family show.
Malkier is up on the roof. Lutra is currently nowhere to be found. And what's Phantasm doing?
I actually have no clue. Probably laying down, just relaxing, because, well, the alternative of what he was doing wasn't that great.
Fair enough. As you're laying down, you start to hear a well, let me see if I can make some noise for you here. Sort of random pinging noises.
I actually just ignore it. I'm like, you know what? It's not even worth my time right now. I am just relaxing, so I just ignore it for now.
All right, so Phantasm is ignoring the noises. Malkier cannot hear them on the roof. So what is Malkier doing on said roof?
Well, I'd probably just be meditating like I usually would in the morning.
Fair enough, doing the whole "you're a wizard, Harry" thing, as opposed to being a hairy wizard. Why y'all looking at me like that?
To be quite honest, I wasn't even looking at you.
No, you're looking into the camera. I know. I got you on technicality. Right.
No.
Hey, I'm the only one who talks about technicalities here. It's in the name. See, it's right up there. Lawyer. See, and I can see it too. I can point exactly where it is. Lawyer.
And with that, we're getting DCMA. Good night, everybody.
Right. Not quite. I don't know how we'd be doing that, but okay. So, one thing Phantasm would hear at one point, he hears like somewhat loud footsteps of what's clearly an otter, like feet slapping against the ground as Lutra walks into the loft towards his room, looking somewhat frustrated, and walks back out down the hallway, like after he leaves his room.
And covered in what you can only imagine is, it looks like sand and dust of some sort.
I sort of like sit up, turn my head over my shoulder to look at Lutra. The otter needs a bath.
Coming right up. And Lucha behind you see her as a couple of robots are coming, following you. One holding a bucket, one with a sponge.
Lutra's just going like, I don't need a bath yet. Wait till later. I'm busy.
The robot with the sponge sort of looks disheartened and turns around. The one with the bucket throws the water on you and turns around with him.
Ah! She just keeps walking away.
Would I like hear any of this? Or
Give me a perception check.
if he screams, I'd probably hear that.
You probably would hear that, but hey, Dark rolled double digits, I think. I think I have to give it to him just on principle.
He rolled
You
a
do hear
16.
the otter. Yeah, you do hear the otter with the yeah.
All right, so I would make my way back inside and head downstairs to see who disturbed my silence.
Well, as you get downstairs, you hear the noises as well.
I would head towards the sound then.
That would be the gym.
Okay, so when you make it to the gym, what you see is Lutra standing with his crossbow. He's clearly shooting a lot because there's a lot of bolts sticking out of different places around the room, inside of different punching bags, parts of the wall, inexplicably at least one in the wall behind him, a couple in the ceiling, and far across the gym, he's clearly set up a target of a plastic cup. It has been hit once.
Lucha.
What?
Lucha. Put that down for a second so I can talk to you.
Oh, okay.
Is your finger off the trigger?
Yo, Lucha puts the bow, like, down. Like, fine, what's up?
I have offered before, but do you want me to train you how to shoot that thing yet?
Oh, yeah, please. I'm trying, but it's not going where I pointed. See, look. Lucha takes it out again, points it towards the target.
No, Lucha, that's what? Okay. No, just no.
Oh, what? He points it towards the target, clearly not using the sights of any kind.
And it sticks into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
About 20 feet away from the cup.
Look, I can't hit anything with this stupid thing.
I just reach my hand out and go to take it from him for a second.
Okay.
Because it's made for a creature slightly smaller than a normal-sized human, it reminds you of, from your training, Baby's first crossbow.
So it's obviously something I'd be highly familiar with.
Oh, 100%. For you, it's basically a hand crossbow.
So I'm just gonna point and fire, just like the cowboy, quick fire.
Ooh.
And you just hear, and all but one bolt is in the cup, because the bolt that's not in the cup, all the bolts hit the cup, pinned it against the wall, and the one bolt that isn't in the cup is below it, making an exclamation point.
How'd you do that?
So at this point, I go over the mechanisms of the crossbow Lucha and show him the sighting and all that.
Oh, you're supposed to look here. Oh.
The sooner you learn how to do this, the sooner we can stop pulling those out of Anton's backside. So it's probably a good thing that you learn how to actually sight this thing in.
Right. Yes, right. We won't want to hit Anton now, especially because he doesn't have his armor anymore. Although, I guess he turns to stone now? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, but we don't know if that's a danger sense or if that's something in instinctive. So let's be careful until we figure that out. Yeah.
Well, I'd rather not hit my friend, but yes, we'll be careful. It's fine. Lucha takes a crossbow, does everything Malkier tells him to, and aims at the cup on the wall and fires one last one.
And because of the way Lutra's luck works, he hits perfectly where he was aiming, but the bolt ricochets off a bolt that Malkier already hit and shatters a light in the gym.
Ah!
Well, legit, I'll take that as a win. That was a good shot.
Well, thanks. I think.
At the sound of the light shattering, Lutra just hears a whooshing sound right behind him, and then a light.
Lucha looks behind him.
And Phantasm standing right there.
Ah! Oh! Jeez! Oh, hi! Hi, Phantasm. How you doing? Where'd you come from?
It's what I do now.
Oh.
So what exactly is going on here, and why are we missing a light?
Well...
Otter crossbow training.
Right, yes. Malkier's been helping me with the... Well, just recently. The rest of this is me earlier trying to learn how to firing myself. But then I fired a good shot, and then the bolt ricocheted and hit a light. It was weird. Accident.
So you're still prone to shooting people.
Well, no. Not on purpose.
Phantasm, at least he's actually hitting what he aims at. Let's take that as a win for now.
Yeah.
So I may regret actually asking this, but if you're doing crossbow training, what's with the dust and sand?
Oh, because I hit some of the punching bags.
With the crossbow?
Well, shot him. Yes. I wasn't aiming for them.
He wasn't aiming at all. He didn't even know what a sight was, Phantasm.
Okay.
Would you like to see the video, Phantasm? I have it.
No, actually, I'm okay.
You hear what sort of sounds like a dejected beep from Hub.
Lucha looks happy about that.
I'm sure there's a puddle still on the ground upstairs waiting to be mopped up.
Oh, they've taken care of that.
Oh yeah, I'm now also like wet, soggy otter. Thank you.
Better be than Sin's daughter, I guess.
Fur's already all screwed up. It's gonna take a week to clear all this out.
So at this point, Phantasm goes to put his arm or his hand on Lutra's shoulder, pauses a second, goes and removes Lutra's hand from the trigger of the crossbow, and then puts his hand on his shoulder.
Ah.
I tell you what, Lutra, train a little bit more, and let's say in about 15 minutes, meet me in the common room. I have something. I have something that you and I need to do.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
It'll give Mach a little time with his Sudoku.
I just glare at Phantasm, just like storm out of the room.
Hey, wait, Melchior, how's your fire thing doing?
I just light my hand up and just throw like a fireball against the wall and let's just shatter the cup.
Yeah, the cup is now melted completely.
Hey, I guess I wasn't really using that much anymore anyway.
It's fine. I just like put my hand over like Lutra's head and like use like the heat, my like radiant heat to like dry him off.
Oh.
So in the next 15 minutes or so, assuming Lutra decides to load and fire, using the sight option on the crossbow, his aim is actually getting significantly better.
Yay!
There's a nice cluster of crossbow bolts in one specific spot on the wall that's been chosen to be used as a target.
Right. Lutra looks like he's having way too much fun with this now. It's like, oh, I can do this now. This is great.
I'm assuming then Lutra is going to head to the common.
Right, once he's done. Yeah. Assuming he has time to tell when 50 minutes is up. And then he probably looked at the clock and didn't bother trusting the AI anyway, so. But yes, he goes up there.
Phantasm is just sitting on the couch when Lutra gets.
Lutra walks over to his Phantasm. Hi, Phantasm. No.
And we lost the Dark.
Yeah, and Discorded a little bit there.
Yeah.
And Dark's back.
Everyone's
We're
back.
good.
Yeah, so not sure how much of that anybody caught, but
Caught a lot of it. Because it just happened to me briefly. So. Krim, when did I drop out? Well, anyway. Lutra heads up and sees Phantasms. And it's like, oh, hey, Phantasm, how's it going? What's up?
Phantasm doesn't really say anything to Lutra. Instead, he points over to the far wall, and what is leaning up against the wall is two skis which are about 2.5 feet long, and a cord with a little handle at the end.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I'm gonna take you water skiing.
Oh? What's that?
You get to go hang out on the ocean a little bit.
Oh! Oh, the ocean? Oh, that's great. I love water. That's awesome. Yes. Lutra is actually hopping up and down in place.
What those skis are for is it actually lets you glide on the top of the water.
Huh? But what about swimming?
Oh, you get to swim when you fall.
Oh. Okay.
I just think it's gonna help you. You've done an awful lot, and I'm sure you can use the stress relief.
Lucha actually starts looking kind of bashfully shy, like, oh, thanks. That's so nice. Yeah, that'd be great. Where are we going?
We're gonna head down to the pier by where I used to work on air.
Oh.
With as crazy as you guys have been lately, I suppose I should probably come with you just in case.
Not really necessary. I mean, it is just the otter on a ski while I'm driving a boat around.
Very, very well.
If you go, get me video. This is going to be good.
I suppose.
I need some more clips for my YouTube channel.
With that, Phantasm just gets up, goes over, grabs the ski and the rope, and heads towards the roof to his jet.
Lucha kind of like follows him rather closely because he's clearly excited about the prospect of being around water.
Is Malkier staying or going?
I will go.
Alrighty. So, like most family vacations, you take the jet to the boat.
Just 1 second. Okay, so when they all get on the jet, just because it's going to be a few minutes, Phantasm presses a couple buttons, and over on a screen that sort of slides down out of the wall next to Lutra, a video pops on, and it is entitled Water Skiing Safety and You. And it is one of those, like, grade school, like, hilarious looking
After school
Animaniac
cartoon
style.
infomercial things.
Yes.
You guys just like you guys just see a rarity and just actually see Melchior smile for a second before he sits down.
Do you like the water?
Yeah.
Do you want to go fast on the water? Well, before you can do that, here are a few rules to help you with water skiing.
Oh.
First, proper life jacket. And it's a whole video on how to put on a life jacket.
I don't...
And yes, it's so 100% Fallout style video.
Right. Lutra's like, I don't really need a life jacket. I can swim pretty well. But okay, whatever. Ooh,
You're wearing it.
why? I can swim way better than you can.
Actually, it might be better for him not to wear it because he'd probably bounce around quite a bit more if he falls off the skis with it on.
Right?
So
wait,
we get.
Does
we get the
Lutra
plane
have this?
there.
Does Lutra have the skis?
Phantasm brought him onto the plane.
Because Lutra wanted to take a look at him.
Yeah, they'd be sitting back there.
Because he's looking at them and he's kind of looks down at his own feet like, I hope these actually fit me.
The worst part about the water skiing is that Lutra has to put on boots.
Exactly. Well, it's not that. I don't know if these things will fit, but Lutra tries like one on and it's like, I think it fits.
Well, water skis aren't actually like regular skis. They don't have the clasp for shoes or anything like that. Because that would be really dangerous.
Right.
So as we get off, I'm like, so Lutra, hopefully, the video explained a lot of it, but really all it is you're going to be standing on the skis, you're going to be holding onto the rope, and I'm going to go with the boat. The rope's attached to the boat, and it's just going to pull you along.
Okay. That sounds weird, but okay, sure. Kind of sounds fun.
Alrighty. So what I'm going to need is an athletics check from Lutra and a vehicles check from Phantasm. Vehicles check needs to be first because that will determine the DC of the athletics check needed. All right, Lutra, make me an athletics check and make it good.
Oh my god.
Okay, so Phantasm, who is much more used to driving vehicles in the air, starts off a little bit bumpy and decides he's going to drive right into a bunch of oncoming waves. Partially because he's unfamiliar with ocean navigating, and partially because, well, it's kind of funny because he knows Lutra wants to get in the water anyway. Lutra, to his credit, manages to not only hold on to the rope and the water skis, he actually looks absolutely fantastic while doing it.
Whee!
To the point where there is now a crowd of people on the docks with cell phones filming this.
You just see me on the back, just like with a little camcorder.
I never actually said that Lutra went into human form, by the way, but I think he probably would have.
Which is why Lutra is getting a hero point for being filmed as an otter water skiing.
Oh gosh.
Congratulations, you just went viral.
Yeah.
Yes, and within 5 minutes of this happening, the #1 trend worldwide on Twitter is #waterskiing. WOTTERSKIING.
Lucha looks so happy. He doesn't even realize that he's not, his belt's not activated. He's having way too much fun with this. Way more than he expected to.
So at this point, Phantasm looks over his shoulder and he notices, oh, well, I kind of lost control of the boat, but the otter's having fun. So, and at that point, he immediately thinks to himself, I'm going to launch the otter.
Are we getting a water rocket?
Has everyone watched launch the otter? What did the otter do to everyone else?
Alrighty.
So, what Phantasm does, and I am going to have to roll a vehicle check for this to see if I actually do it. It's not much better. So what Phantasm attempts to do is he makes a very, very sharp turn with the boat, but as he does that, he actually hits the release for the rope. So Lutra keeps going straight, and with that Beagles check, Phantasm actually rolls the boat.
So I'm going to need an athletics check, actually an acrobatics check at this point for Lutra for a balance, and then I'll describe what happens when the boat rolls over. All right, so Lutra manages to stay up a little bit and then land, and he's happily now floating in the water. Meanwhile, the boat has flipped, and not only are both Phantasm and Malkier wet, Malkier is legitimately steaming, like actual factual steam coming from his body. And Lutra, give me a perception check via your tracking skill, or your senses, your olfactory senses.
I lost my sheet. Is that just a perception check plus whatever?
Just a perception check, yes.
Ooh, I rolled a 1.
Well, you are so excited for the water skiing, you don't notice the smell of cooking fish.
That's just fine. And so as Lutra goes like flying off, like kind of sinking into the water after the boat kind of stops. He looks back and sees the boat tipped over, and he kind of like panically swims back towards your direction, way faster than obviously any creature can normally swim, because his swim is actually like 60 miles an hour. So he gets back to the boat in no time flat. He's like, "Hey, are you guys okay?" Like looking towards like, you know, Phantasm and Malkier.
Yeah, we're fine. Are you?
Oh my gosh, that was amazing! Oh, that's the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. Can we do it again? That was so much fun. And then he kind of stops and looks towards the beach.
There is a throng of people with cameras, or not cameras, but cell phones recording you.
There's just eyes widen as he like looks at himself and says, "Oh no, they all saw me." He kind of hides behind Phantasm.
Phantasm sort of looks over his shoulder and he's like, "Yeah, they saw you, and they're not running."
They're not. Huh. And she kind of peeks out from behind Phantasm and kind of gives a wave to everybody. Hey. Gets his eyes back.
They start cheering.
It's okay to be comfortable in your own skin, you know.
I fur, I guess, but sure, yeah. I just never thought anyone would, you know, not be scared of a 5-foot tall otter. And she kind of peeks out again, sees everybody, and he just kind of like, finally just kind of like gets out from behind Phantasm, and just starts slowly swimming in towards the beach.
The throngs of people are still there. As you approach, you do hear some of the people who have small children with them say, "I want to," as you see in the chat there from Cham, "I want to hug the big stuffed animal. He looks cuddly."
You just see Malkier trying to flip the boat back over.
Give me a strength check, Malkier.
Of course.
No, you're fine. You flip the boat. You're good.
Phantasm actually starts swimming back towards the shore, just because it was
There
enjoyable.
is, for lack of a better description, a conga line of small children that want to hug the big cuddly water skiing otter.
I just hop in the boat and just, like start driving like back to the shore.
Congratulations, Lutra. You just became the #1 Halloween costume in Bay City.
Woohoo!
But as
I go by Phantasm, I just make John like wake, just go like over him.
Phantasm's just standing there, smiling as Lutra is probably the happiest he's been in
Ever.
a long time.
No, not a long time. Ever.
So this takes about a couple of hours. But after about the first 30 minutes or so, news crews will actually start showing up because they have seen the viral video of water skiing and have heard of the giant stuffed animal who is giving free hugs down at the docks.
Guys, I think that's our cue to get out of here.
Lucha's way too involved to leave.
If you want to head back, Malkia, that's fine. I think we'll be okay.
Do you really think we need this publicity right now with everything that's going on?
You act like we haven't gotten publicity before.
So be it.
We need the positive PR. That's what we need.
Lucha's tail is like, bouncing up and down like happily. He's just got the biggest smile on his face. He's actually the happiest he's ever been in his entire life at this moment.
Phantasm and Malkir give me perception checks. Lutra is way too engrossed in everything he's doing to notice. Okay. So you guys both will see that the news people who were there, if anyone watches the local news, you'll notice it's not the normal news reporters who you see. This seems like they've sent the interns type of deal. And you'll notice that they're not actively coming over to interview Lutra at all. They're just interviewing the people who are there, which give me an insight check, each of you.
Me too or no?
You're too engrossed in what's going on. You have...
No problem.
All right. Dark, yeah. Malkir, not so much. Phantasm, you find it extremely odd and interesting that a giant news story such as this and the news reporters, the news media, haven't come over to try and interview Lutra at all. It strikes you as a little odd.
I walk over to one of the news reporters.
Seems to be a young college kid, 20 years old tops.
So they sent you for this story?
Yeah, the brass didn't seem to think it was something to waste all the bigwigs on, but this is incredible. I mean, that video's already got 500,000 hits.
So what exactly are you writing about on this?
Exactly what the video is about, really. Just interviewing people, what they saw, because initially there was rumors of something like that in the city helping people, but this is the first confirmation anyone's had of a giant otter being real.
He's real. He's a really good, otter too. Just know that this city has people willing to protect it. And make sure that the citizens know that too.
So this is on the record?
On the record, you can tell the Bay City area that there are people who will protect it.
His eyes light up like Christmas trees. Like to the point where he thinks the way you think, the way his eyes light up, you're pretty sure you just made his career. And uh, uh, um, what do I call you?
You can refer to me as Fant.
Fant. Is that like Greek or something?
Yeah, let's go with that.
And do you guys have a name? Like the group of you?
Nah, we don't really need a name. We're not doing this for notoriety or anything else. But I'm really glad that the public is able to see that there are good guys, even if the good guys don't look like everyone else.
I mean, how can you hate watching an otter water ski?
Trust me, that's not even in the top 5 things that he does.
Wait, next you're going to tell me he cooks.
I'm going to use that term very loosely.
He does fine.
Who are you? He looks kind of scared by Malkier randomly appearing next to Phantasm.
I'm one of them.
Okay. He looks back at Fant. Can I just continue talking to you?
No.
It's fine, Malkier. And Fant sort of looks down and just gives him a grin. He's like, trust me, he looks scary, but he's a big softy. He spends his whole day doing Sudoku.
Really? There's this one from Friday I've been having such a hard time with. You know the answers? And he whips out the same Sudoku book you have.
The 2 goes in the bottom right.
Really? I've had that as a 1 the whole time. You sure the 2 goes there?
Try it out.
B. It does go there. And he looks. Oh, that's why. He misread one of his 1s as a 7. Or one of his 7s as a 1.
Our 4th members. Never mind.
He doesn't actually hear what you say because he finally figured out that Sudoku.
So whenever Lutra finishes hugging every single person on the beach, he does like happily rejoin Phantasm and Malkier by the reporter.
Yeah. Well, actually, by the time Lutra's done hugging everybody, the reporter has got his story, and he is gone to type it up because he is extremely happy that, in his mind, he is a made man.
Gotcha. You didn't want to talk to the otter?
As I said, with Phantasm, something felt like he was like you could tell he wanted to talk to the otter, but it felt like he couldn't for some reason.
Weird. Anyway, Lucha gets back to you. It's like, oh my gosh, that was such a great thing. He hugs you. Phantasm, tightly.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Hey, Phantasm. Let's go get on some sushi.
Ooh! Ooh, yeah, well, yeah. Sushi sounds great. I love that. It's really expensive, though. I could barely afford it.
That's fine.
As Lutra is sort of getting everything together, Phantasm walks over to him and he's like, "By the way, don't worry that the reporter didn't talk to you. It's he was more he's more focused on the scene itself rather than uh, the subject. He wanted you to just enjoy yourself and enjoy all the hugs that you were getting."
Right. That was me. Like, Lucha probably had no idea you were talking to a reporter. But I appreciate that, nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, no. Like,
There-
Phantasm doesn't know that.
Right.
Like,
Well,
he just assumes
okay.
that Lutra saw him.
So Lucha just looks up and says, "There were reporters here? Like from the newspaper?"
I think possibly every single person in Bay City may have been there today.
Oh.
And with that, anyone who has a smartphone will get a ping with a breaking news article coming from the Bay City Times. And that is the headline of the breaking article.
And their otter.
I wasn't expecting Malkir to be there, so I had to change the pet otter line.
Figures.
So yeah, that gets pinged to your phones, and you're pretty sure that's courtesy of Hub.
Courtesy of what?
Hub.
I don't think Lucha has a smartphone.
This was more for Phantasm and Malkir.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because I do.
He hits the daily digital Sudokus as well. He's also really into Words with Friends. He only plays against Hub, though, because Hub just has like 40 Words with Friends accounts.
So Phantasm looks at his phone, reads the headline, rolls his eyes, and just tucks it back in his pocket for now. Basically because he's glad that Lutra got to enjoy the day, so he doesn't want to read anything that even may remotely ruin it if he reads it right now. So he's going to save it until right before he goes to sleep.
Hey, do we have time to do I have time to go swimming one last time before we go?
Take all the time you need, Lucha.
Woo! Lucha runs back towards the ocean and jumps in and he swims really fast around, just out in the area. But he is circling around like nobody's business.
Phantasm looks over towards Malkir and he's like, you know, if the otter tires himself out like a little kid, you're carrying him into the house.
I already figured as much.
You could probably use the drying off anyway.
It's defensive, it won't work.
At some point, Lucha finally gets out of the ocean and walks back up on the onto the beach. And
That's the music that starts playing as Lucha jumps into the water as the ice cream truck shows
right.
up.
Nice. Lucha gets out of the water, shakes himself, as dry as one does with fur, and pads back over to the guys and says, "Oh, man. What a day. Whew.
I'm exhausted.
Are you relaxed?
Yeah, I feel great.
Well, unless there's something else you want to do here, Lutra, it's probably time to go back to HQ and figure out what we're gonna do next.
Yeah. We should go back home.
You want to go one more time?
Lucia looks at you, looks back at the ocean, and runs back into the ocean. And just starts swimming again. He's only out there for another good 10 minutes and whatnot, jumping around almost like a dolphin at one point. And then he gets out and says, "Okay, alright, I'm done. I'm tired."
I just do what I do earlier and just like put my hand over his head, and just like try him off like I did before.
Ooh. Thank you.
While Lutra was doing that last round, Phantasm was actually collecting the skis and the rope and pushing the boat back into the docking area. So that was all taken care of.
So nothing crazy happens on the trip back to HQ. And the late local news leads with the viral video of hashtag water skiing.
Does that make you happy, Hub?
I thought we were going for secret identity stuff here.
I think the time has passed for that.
Give me a perception check, quick, Phantasm.
I do immediately respond before any perception type thing.
So that's
right. But I'm just saying, like, I immediately respond to Hub. I meant you wanted the video of an otter skiing.
well, yeah, of course. It's great. And you notice that they show the actual channel that it came from, and the YouTube name is Hub for Real.
Just out of curiosity, did you set monetization on this?
You get a text message to your phone that says, "Keep it between us. I'll split it with you."
At this point, and I'll actually do it into the chat because it doesn't really matter for people to see it. But at this point, Phantasm just texts.
You get a text response back with, "You had me at cooking lessons."
Speaking of which, Lucha's gonna make dinner.
Roll it. Describe it.
Well, let me think here. Bacon wrapped marinated chicken breasts. Italian marinated chicken breasts. With a side of asparagus and a baked potato. Fully loaded.
And it's
And
pretty
still
damn good.
functioning, and it's still functioning kitchen afterwards.
Right.
I mean, it smells good to the point where Casey comes down and is like, "Can I have some?"
Of course, I mean,
Like, Ben comes down from the penthouse and asks for some.
of course. Lutra looks around and says, "Hey, where's Anton?"
This is Hub at this point. I don't actually know. He said he was going to go do some meditating, and I haven't heard from him in a while.
Oh, he's missing out. But he's hungry by now.
I mean,
I'm sure this will be fine reheated.
Yeah.
But I can't guarantee there's going to be any left.
Right. I guess I can make more. After everything I can understand, he probably wants to understand what's happening to him. So yeah, that's fine.
At some point, Phantasm actually goes right by Casey and sort of rushes up to him, and he's like, "Your office later on."
he subtly nods in response. And I'm assuming nothing's going on crazy after dinner, so we'll shift to the office scene.
Yeah, because Lucha's just gonna like veg out on a sofa, like feet up and just relaxing in front of the television, whatever Hub decides to put on.
I'm just gonna go and sit in my chair with a bottle of cognac and a cigar and put my feet up.
It is some pretty fine cognac.
Phantasm walks up to Casey's office and sits on the edge of his desk waiting for him to show up.
You are here a little earlier than I was expecting. But why are we here?
So who is the reporter?
Well, according to his byline, his name is Daniel Oliver.
And what's the story that he's supposed to write?
Exactly the one he wrote.
Well, I haven't read it yet, but I'm assuming you have a good reason that you're manipulating what the press is writing.
Yeah. I promised him that I would do everything I could to make sure that nobody found out. Even though people were posting a video, I could still extend some influence to ensure that, at least for now, a positive spin was put on things.
Well, I guess it's there that I guess you're lucky that I was there to sort of give that positive spin that the community actually.
You underestimate what I can do.
Maybe, but the community doesn't need to be withheld from our existence because they're going to see things. If what happened before all this transformation happened is any sign of what's to come, the city needs to know that they have people on their side.
I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, sending a reporter like that who is still young and still has a vision of hope is a lot easier than having a grizzled old veteran, jaded reporter come down.
Oh, well, I mean, if they would have showed up, I would have just banished them to a different realm. That was easy enough.
Wait. Did you just go full Yu-Gi-Oh on me here?
I have some bizarre powers that you wouldn't even start to believe, but look, you and I think, are on the same page. We want positive publicity because we know we need to have the city with hope.
Exactly. I just made a phone call to a couple of friends and suggested who might be a good fit for the story.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you and I are kind of on the same page because, well, you being our benefactor is definitely advantageous for us because we don't have a lot of the means you do. Remember that you need us even more.
By the way, did you like the name Bay City Guardians?
Uh, I mean, I guess, but
What would you have gone with then?
I don't know. But shouldn't we be guarding more than just Bay City?
True, but Justice League was already taken.
Yeah, and we all know that you don't want us going with the Avengers.
You can see him get visibly tense at the thought of Stark. We'll stick with Guardians for now.
Okay.
If
Hey,
we expand,
maybe if Anton gets back his armor, we can go with the Iron Man.
get out of my office, Mistral.
And Phantasm just chuckles as he leaves. And doesn't even bother opening the door. Just phases right through.
Well, at least that saves the slamming the door thing.
And hold on. Hearing that, Phantasm walks back, opens the door, and slams.
Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it.
So Phantasm's at least a little more at ease with that. So he goes back and actually reads the story.
It's a very well put together story on connecting the rumors and the dots of there being four heroes who stopped the robot invasion. And it's actually a very, very flattering piece on the whole thing, including quotes from several prominent people, including the president of Tomiko Industries, which, if you remember, was the spot where the gambling assassin who knew Malkier was stealing tech. Plenty of comments from the head of Stormbreaker Technologies, one Dr. Thomas Casey. A couple of other interviews, including one from a small child, last name withheld, but first name is Connor. So basically, you can definitely tell that this first article, Casey made sure that all the people who have been positively impacted got a little say in the article.
Oh yeah, manipulating every single. With that, Phantasm starts making his way back towards his bedroom, but takes a peek in the common room just to looking on Lutra, see how he's doing.
Lutra has fallen asleep on the sofa.
A half-eaten bag of Swedish fish on the floor.
I just raised my bottle of cognac over to Phantasm.
Phantasm just sort of nods as he picks up the Swedish fish, like spins the bag to like tighten it and folds it over and sits it on the table, and then picks up the otter and walks him to his room and lays him on his bed.
Lutra kind of like, as you pick him up, kind of like snuggles into you. Like, again, he's asleep, but just kind of like nuzzles into you a little bit.
Phantasm gives a smile, and then after he puts Lucha in his room, he heads to his room, closes the door, and just falls back on his bed and goes to sleep.
I just take my bottle and go up to the roof and just kind of like stare over the horizon.
Totally out of character, but does anyone else find it extremely dangerous that someone made of fire is carrying alcohol around?
I wasn't gonna say anything.
It's a defensive ability. I've been no.
Yes, but the last thing I would want to do is startle you with the alcohol in your hand.
Yeah, don't startle me then.
Lutra pops up out of there. Hi!
Well, I mean, I would just combust, but I mean,
Right.
I'm made of fire anyway, so it won't really matter.
That's true.
It just cost me a bottle of cognac. Well, it cost Casey a bottle of cognac.
Right?
So, Phantasm, you're going to get woken up by the bzz, 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 bzz sound of your phone going bananas. And
Phantasm goes to reach for his phone, and actually, while doing it, just because he's so groggy because of everything that happened like a little before and everything, he actually falls out of his bed while doing it. But grabs his phone and sort of just looks at it while kneeling.
Well, you're greeted by the following headline that you see in the chat there. And the accompanying article has what appears to be a very grainy picture, but it definitely appears to be you, Malkir, and Lutra caught on camera stealing tech from Tomiko Industries. The timestamp of the photograph in the article is approximately the same time you were in Casey's office.
Paper the same or different? That's what the perception check was for.
Oh, it is not the Bay City Times. This is the Bay City Chronicle.
Phantasm does his whole cloud of smoke, darkness type thing right up to Casey's room, and
Ben answers the door.
where's Casey?
Sleeping, probably. Why are you waking me up so early, Mr. Mistral?
Can I speak to him, please?
Yeah, hold on. He sort of shakes the cobwebs out a little bit. And I'm not going to do this because I don't feel like screaming in everybody's ears, but you just hear him yelling, Uncle Thomas! Uncle Thomas!
Phantasm just looks down at him. I could have done that.
True, but it's more fun this way. He just has this little sly smirk. As you see Casey scrambling out from his bedroom. He's got pajama pants on, but he's got no shirt. His hair is a mess.
Feety pajamas.
Oh, they're absolutely feety pajamas. You know it. They're nanotech-infused microfiber. What's that? And he's like panicking, making sure Ben's okay, and he looks up and sees you, and he just has this look of, oh, bleep on his face.
Phantasm says nothing. He just holds up his phone sideways so that the only thing on his phone is the headline.
What? Did you go stealing tech last night after you left my office?
The timestamp is while I was in your office.
Are you kidding me?
We had a passed out otter. And
he immediately takes out his cell phone and starts doing his weird computer stuff on it.
And at this point, Phantasm is like, Hub, news station, now.
Casey's like already way ahead of you. He brings up a news feed. It's the #1 article on the morning news. Like they're showing the actual video. There's no sound on the video, but it's looking clear as day as what appears to be Malkier, Phantasm, and Lutra sneaking into Tomiko Technologies and stealing some tech. Give me a perception check, please. Phantasm. Casey will get one too. Never mind, I'm not even going to bother rolling his. You immediately notice that the only reason you were able to recognize it as you is because you know what you look like. But this is pre-transformation Phantasm. This is Spectre.
He's going green.
Wait, that was what you did before you got back.
Yeah, green's definitely not purple. So there's imposters.
Interesting. So who would you have pissed off that they could have created imposters? Well, I mean, aside from all of Gendine.
I don't think it's a who. I think it's a what.
Okay. I'm confused.
A spirit.
A spirit. Like, Halloween's not for a couple of months, so I doubt it's a ghost.
No, I'm not talking Halloween costume cute little kid spirit. Like actual like, hey, you might be a god type spirit.
Okay. I'm losing you here a little bit.
So you remember how we went down and dude took the dagger, stabbed the orb. I sort of took him to a dark dimension while everyone else did something really weird.
Yeah?
Well, as the crystal was stabbed, or the orb was stabbed, when I took him to the alternative dimension, there was kind of an infraction, and all the darkness went with us, and there were 13 distinct beams of light that
so you think
took off in the other direction.
So you're thinking this is one of those beams of light?
I'm thinking that when he destroyed the orb, coupled with my newfound dark energy, when the light and the darkness cross paths, it released some type of spirit.
Well, if that's the case, then tracking them should be pretty easy. I mean, you weren't here when they got back, but when Malkier, Anton, and Lutra got back, they were radiating some sort of energy that I'd never seen before. And I have a scan of it. So, assuming these things are the same thing, we should be able to create a tracker to find that energy.
Possibly, whatever it is, it's otherworldly, so there's no guarantee.
Yeah, I should be able to. Give me about 2 hours. Actually, make it one. And he doesn't even bother changing. He just rushes to you where you know his lab is. And he's in just, again, he's shirtless in the nanotech infused microfiber footy pajamas. They are the same color salmon as his suit when you first met him, by the way.
And at this point, Spectre just doesn't do a lot of researching, but he starts researching the significance of the number 13.
Give me a technology check, and that will depend on what information you get. You do have access to the Stormbreaker Tech computer, so I will be applying a bonus to it.
The bonus might not help that.
Well, you get the typical lore of 13 being an unlucky number. Your typical Google search on 13, unlucky number, all of that. Nothing too much deeper than that, as you are distracted by not just the smell of Lutra making pancakes, but Stormbreaker Casey coming back and goes, "Yep, I found a way to track him." And he holds you out what appears to be, well, a smartphone.
Is this tracking the other us's or the spirits themselves? And
Neither. It's tracking the energy readings that you guys were giving off. So, assuming what you said is true, they'll be giving off the same amount of the same energy reading. So that's how we're going to find them. As you can see on the phone, there are only 3 blips in here. There should be 4. You standing in front of me, Malkier sleeping, and Lutra in the kitchen. There should be 4. I'm not sure where Mr. Wolf is. But if we expand the map a little bit, you can see there's 3 other blips. And it looks like they're in a warehouse down by the docks where you guys were water skiing.
And just so Lutra knows, Phantasm actually said the part about the other us's loud enough to where Lutra would have heard it.
Lutra stops making pancakes, and puts everything aside enough that he can do so, pads over, and then says, "Other us's? What do you mean, other us's?"
Phantasm says, "Hub TV."
Gotcha.
Lutra looks at the TV.
You see the same video and article I was describing earlier.
Lutra looks kind of horrified. Huh? I didn't steal anything.
Yeah, none of us did.
I just kind of like stumble into the room at this point and ask what the heck is going on.
And Phantasm just lifts his arm up, points at the TV.
I mean, I had half a bottle of cognac last night, but I was pretty sure I was here the entire night.
We were all here the entire night.
Hub speaks up. Yeah, nobody left the facility. You were definitely all here.
Not to mention, when was the last time you guys saw me glow green?
Well, technically down at the Bermuda Triangle, but yeah, I mean, I caught that myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's been a while.
This is not what we needed as soon as we, gave the area hope, and now we have this stuff coming out.
Well, I mean, we were all here. We can all prove that, right? And can't we just tell everyone that it wasn't us?
We could try, but we have video evidence that tries to prove otherwise.
Unfortunately, Lutra, this is Hub speaking, it doesn't necessarily quite work that way. The public can be very fickle and they'll believe anything with video. And the only video I would have would be of you guys sleeping. And that's only of Lutra on the couch until Phantasm comes in and puts him in the bedroom. There's no definitive proof saying you guys weren't sneaking out of windows.
But we're really high up. We wouldn't sneak out of the windows up here.
Everyone saw you go in on a jet.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We need to find out who they are.
Well, I guess that means we have to travel then. So where are we going?
Casey will speak up at this point. Well, according to the little device I just made, by the way, you now notice that he's standing there in salmon pink footy pajamas and shirtless.
Lucha looks over and is like, I know you like one piece jumpers like mine.
These are just pants, Lutra. Just pants.
Well, are you two ready? We can head off. Go back down
Before
to
we
the
go,
warehouse.
I just want to take one more look at that video. If you guys notice, there's no Anton.
Yeah. That's weird.
If this was actually a couple months ago, Anton should most likely be there. He's only been gone for a night.
Right.
Tell you what, I don't even know what happened to Anton. Next thing you know, he's going to be going door to door right now. I mean, who knows what Anton's doing, but we can't worry about that. We need to, because if they're stealing, what else are they going to be doing?
No, you're right. We should figure that out. Lucha looks back at the pancakes he was making, kind of frowns, but shrugs.
As you look back, you'll notice one of Hub's robots is currently making pancakes.
Hey.
What? I didn't want them to burn.
Yeah, guess that makes sense.
Lutra, get something to go. We can get on the plane.
Yeah.
You are handed a pancake version of a Monte Cristo, which, for those who don't know, Monte Cristo is ham and cheese between two French toasts with a little syrup on it.
Right.
You're muted, Grim.
I'm honestly not sure how well that would work with pancakes, but okay.
Phantasm just grabs it before anyone else can and just starts eating it.
It's surprisingly good for a robot.
Wait, the Monte Cristo was a robot?
No, the robot made it.
So Anton starts going up to the plane and starts.
Hold on.
Yeah, wait. Where'd Anton come from?
Where did-
What? Do you
I just
have
read a message
multiple
that I
personalities?
sent to TG. No, I just sent it.
I mean, he couldn't get his own name like last time. Now I was trying to think of someone else. I think there's a little bit of dementia setting in.
And now we
No,
know
this
why
is
we
what
have
happens when-
doppelgangers.
This is what happens when Clinton tries to multitask at 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
It doesn't work well. But Phantasm heads to the jet and starts tinkering around with some things. That way, it's taken care of by the time the other two get up there.
I'm going to assume you were installing the tracker into the plane.
I'm installing the tracker into the plane and a few other things.
All right, but by the time you guys get up there, the plane's fueled up and ready to go.
Lucha hops onto the plane. Or into the plane. Whatever.
Yes, Lutra is not a fan of open air flying.
Right, no.
And as per the tracker, you guys head back right down to the docks where you were water skiing just yesterday.
Okay, but when he gets there, Phantasm does not land the ship on ground. He actually lands it on the water. And he's like, Lutra, feel free to swim to the docks where the warehouse is. Malkir, I hope you don't get motion sickness. And with that, he touches Malkir, and both of them transport to the land.
Lucha jumps out and swims. And hops up onto the deck. And joins you guys.
Phantasm looks at them and he's like, we couldn't risk them hearing the jet as we were landing.
Oh, okay.
And then he flips up his hood, and suddenly you guys start seeing his white skin have a black glow to it.
Phantasm? Is that normal?
Yeah, it's kind of like the green glow from before.
Okay. Just making sure.
But I believe I have you guys positioned on the map roughly where you would be.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Do what you need to do.
They're just going to activate his belt and go invisible.
You ready to do this?
Really quickly, give me an odd or evens.
Who?
Lutra.
Evens.
So Lutra's going to get another hero point because he's been in the water 2 days straight with a technological belt on. It's shorts from all the water he's been in. Salt water.
Ah! Oh no!
Lucha panics. He kind of looks over at Phantasm. Like sad.
Just relax. You'll be fine.
But
Remember what I said
But
yesterday.
but I broke it.
It is not always bad to be seen.
But this is important. Huh? Maybe Casey could fix it.
We'll let Casey give it a try, but for today, Focus on your other skills. You have a lot of skill.
Right. Lutra kind of frowns but nods.
Lucha, remember to use your sides.
Right.
You're a good shot. Just play to your strength.
Right. Okay.
All right, so how do you approach the warehouse?
As stealthily as he can.
Well, then a stealth check would work.
Which, to be fair, is still ridiculously high. Oh!
One of them's going to see you.
Yeah, I had to crit that to get there.
I did.
Well, suppose I feel that bad about that.
You know, go on the theory of you made me waste a 20 on a roll that's
That's what
slightly
I
less
said. I'm not-
consequential.
That's what I said. I'm like, you crit a
Yep.
perception check. I'm okay with this.
Yes, Cham, 36 perception, because literally what I did for all of these is I went into the Lutra, Spectre, and Malkier character sheets and hit duplicate.
Yeah, and Lutra had a very high
Has
perception.
a very high perception.
Exactly. So I literally just hit the duplicate button. By the way, move to where you would be heading into the warehouse.
I think.
Are there any windows on the warehouse?
No.
That's supposed to be on top of the truck, by the way.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's not necessarily that you were seen, Lutra. It's that you were smelled.
Mm-hmm. Not that Lutra knows this.
Right. I'm just telling you
Right.
from a character perspective.
That's fine.
You were smelled. So they definitely know you're coming. And as you enter, well, let's see how well Doppel uses one of these things. Very well, apparently.
Yeah. Well, who's he shooting?
Oh, he's shooting at you because you're the one he smells.
Of course.
Sorry. I feel really bad for the fact that I've crit you.
Wait! I've got 3 hero points. Instant counter. No, I can't do that. It's a crit. Gosh darn it.
It's a natural 20
Yeah,
crit,
I
so you
can't do that.
But you can re-roll with a hero point.
Yeah, probably. Well, I rolled a 12.
Right. Keep in mind, any roll of a 1 through 10 adds a 10
Yeah,
to it.
I'm gonna have to do that. Jesus Christ.
Well, hold on.
I'm not using 2 for this.
Yeah, no, you can't. I mean, it's the same result either way from the first roll or the second one. So it's going to be a bruise and a daze, as I got really lucky with my rolling there and just whoop, and sort of just the reason it hits and hurts so much is because that one spot where you got hit with the acid salt blast, the arrow hits that exact same spot.
Ow!
And that seems like it's a good enough time for initiative.
It's days due again.
OPT can take another hero point for me just critting the crap out of him.
And I waste my 20.
You and Phantasm both.
What does daze do again?
Daze means you can only take either a move or a standard action this round. Well, the good news for you guys is y'all are bundled up together, so Phantasm is up. And you definitely hear Lutra yelp as a crossbow bolt flicks right into it.
Do I see where the bolt comes from?
Off to Lutra's left. Actually, from where you are, you can't see where the bolt came from, but you can definitely see a Malkier clone.
Okay, well, if I knew the bolt came from the left and I see the clone, then I'm actually just throwing this sort of in the general direction since it is a area. Wait, let me double check. I think it's an area effect. I don't have my hero level. If you have the Jeopardy theme, go ahead and play it while I'm looking.
Do 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 we got demonetized.
It's a remix.
Hopefully my clone rolls ones also.
Maybe.
That would just be funny.
That would be karmic justice.
Oh, okay. It is not an area effect, so it's a good thing I've checked. Since I see Duke Malk here back there, I just assume then that the dirt came from him.
Fair.
And I throw a Dark Blast back at him.
Alrighty.
And yeah.
Well, apparently it's a critical
All the crits.
here. All of the crits.
We are critaholics tonight.
Yeah, that is going to be a DC 29 that I have to deal with. Ooh, boy. Well, he will suffer the same fate as Lutra, a bruise and a daze. Real Malkier is up. You see all three of them from your vantage point. You see Doppel U, Doppel Lutra, and Doppel Spectre.
I'm the kind of person who just get irate over someone like borrowing my skin. So I'm going to look at Doppel-me and just like hold both my hands out and just shoot my like line of fire just like directly in his face.
Alrighty, hit the button so I know what I'm. Ooh, it's a 11, so 21 dog. He takes the full brunt of it because he's still recovering from getting blasted by the Dark Blast. So Doppel Malkier is getting wrecked right. Yeah, Doppel Malkier gets completely smoked. He takes a full power Dark Blast from Phantasm, and then immediately as he's recovering from that, just gets absolutely incinerated by Malkier to the point where there's nothing left of him.
Bye, Felicia.
Lutra's up. And you definitely see a version of Lutra holding a crossbow, aiming at you. He's using the sights.
Hey, it took me forever to figure that out. Is there any way I can tell, like, if this guy is, like, I don't know. I kind of want to do a perception check just to see if his eyes are glowing or something. If there's something obviously
Go right
flawed
ahead.
with him.
Give me a perception check. As a matter of fact, there is something that you notice. He doesn't smell like anything.
Oh. Oh. Okay, then. Dazedly, Lutra pulls out his crossbow, aims down the sights, and is going to go ahead and return the favor. Theoretically speaking.
Nope.
I got a hero point. I'm going to re-roll that.
All right.
You mean you don't want to roll a 2?
Shockingly, no. That's not going to hit him anyway.
It is not, unfortunately, because you know what your
Yeah,
dodge
I
and
know what my
parry
dodge and
is.
parry is.
However, it was a much better shot,
Right.
and only by the grace of his agility does he manage to dodge
Oh, I
out
know,
of the
yeah.
way of that.
No, I know. I was one short.
So it is Doppelspecter's turn. And since he's got two people there in a nice little area, he's going to use Air Surge. So I'm going to need dodge checks from both Lutra and Malkier. Evasion does apply. Holy crap, Malkier made a save. Holy crap.
I have evasion.
The world's coming to an end.
Right. I have evasion 1 as well.
I know. Yeah, I know you guys both have evasion, so you guys completely dodge out of the way of that. So his Air Surge does absolutely nothing.
Oh, I have evasion 2. Holy crap.
Yeah. So it is now Doppellutra's turn. And Doppellutra, while enjoying the fact that he blasted you with the crossbow, he is now, and this looks really cool, by the way, because of the fact that he's an otter, and I use otter in quotes, he is going to scamper across the wall and then come at you using claws and teeth. And gonna miss this time. That's much better. There was a crack in the wall that he missed and he tumbles. Mr. Tasm, you're up.
Okay, first of all, just a quick question. How long does it take a daze to disappear?
Daze, if it's from a toughness effect, goes away in 1 round.
So
If it's from a affliction effect, it's there as long as the affliction is still in place.
Lutra's no longer dazed, I believe, then, right?
Correct. The only thing that stick around is the bruise.
Right.
Okay, that's kind of important because that determines what it's going to do. Second question: do I see the air blast?
You definitely feel a surge of wind, that's for sure. It just from where you're standing, he's behind a wall.
Okay, so but I do know a third person's in.
Oh yeah, you saw the scanner. Yeah, and you definitely saw like Malkir's cloak definitely went all wispy woods there with the wind.
All right. Well then, I teleport / move
Do that.
in here, and actually not. I have to check my range.
You're plenty within range, unless you're using Forbidden Fell Slash.
Like, well, as it
Yeah,
turns out.
I was contemplating it, but then I'm like, no, you know what? Because I wouldn't fly like and know exactly where he is on entry. So I come in and I actually use Black Storm on him.
Ooh. Okay.
And I know that hits.
That hits. That's going to hit by 2 tiers. So that's actually a DC 26 that has to be made. Actually, does that have indirect on it?
No, it's just range multi-attack.
Okay. Fair enough. So yeah, that's actually a DC 26. So he'll take a bruise. As Black Death reigns upon him from you. And now that Malkier has incinerated himself, he's up. Muted. Microphone.
I'm going to focus on Phantasm. I'm going to rush him and use my butterfly dagger.
No, go after Spectre, not Phantasm.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what I mean.
Well, you hit by 2 tiers. So that's going to be a DC 29 toughness. And that's a 3-tier failure. So he's going to take 2 more bruises and he's going to be staggered. Like, you slash and dash and he's feeling it a lot. Water skiing time.
Lutra walks in towards himself, I guess. Is a bit confused, but with everything he's learned so far as not having any odor or smell from the thing, whatever, he's going to attack it with teeth and claws as well. That doesn't hit.
That does hit.
It does?
Yes, parry is melee. Dodge is range. So
Oh,
that does hit, actually.
nice.
And he will take a bruise.
Insta grab. Or fast grab, whatever it is.
Alrighty. It's going to be your grab resisted by his dodge or strength. He's going to choose dodge.
It's 21.
So because I think it's hilarious, you go after him with teeth and claws, and you get him a little bit on the side. Then you manage to sneak underneath him, and you have him in a full Otter Nelson.
Right. Otter hug.
It is Doppelspecter's turn. As much as he wants to go after Phantasm, Malkier's kind of right in front of his face. So he's going to just attack Malkier with an air. If that hits, DC 25, please.
What would that hit against?
Your dodge.
10 equals 5 plus 5, so 20.
So yeah, 29 hits. So yeah, DC 25 toughness save. Jerk.
Get wrecked. I'm actually rolling good tonight.
You are rolling good tonight. So we have Doppel Lutra in a full Nelson from regular Lutra. So technically, by the nature of the grab, he can't technically use claws and teeth on you, but he can smack you with Otter Tail.
Right.
So that's what he's going to do. Which he will hit.
Yep.
So the DC is going to be 26.
Toughness, right?
Yes. Lutra still has hero points.
I only got one left.
Well, you might as well use it because we're almost
I
done.
would use it
Yeah,
here.
I'll use it. I haven't done Inspire in forever. That was a 12, I think.
Well, that's just going to be another bruise in a daze, so that's better than the staggered you were going to get.
That's true. Is he out of my grab now?
No. He didn't try to get out of the grab. He legitimately just used his tail and whacked you upside the head with it.
So what I'm imagining is you had him in the full Otter Nelson, and his tail went between your legs and smacked you in the back of the
That's
head.
exactly what happened.
Right.
And
Ow!
now the tails are arm wrestling.
Right. It's like thumb wrestling, only with tails.
Exactly. Phantasm style.
The otter wrestling image is just hilarious.
I'm just waiting for the German suplex to happen.
Exactly. If
So,
only my throw attack wasn't +2.
I'd give you unarmed on that one. And technically, with a grab, if you want to, you can exert your strength as a damage with no attack needed.
Right.
So, if Mock here would happen to be looking at Phantasm at all, he'd see his eyes glow like a purple as Phantasm sort of just quickly flies in towards Spectre. And here comes the Fell Slash. Hero point. Here comes the Fell Splash.
That hits barely. He will take another bruise and a daze from it. And he's not quite sure where that came from. All right, so Malkia, this is the one and only time I'm going to remind you that this is a thing, because I think this is the first time you've actually hit and haven't immediately felled the guy with the butterfly daggers. You do have secondary effect on that. I will roll it this one time. Every other time from here on out, you have to remind me.
What is the secondary effect?
The
Basically-
fired burn.
Yeah, basically he's burning him. He's cauterizing the wound, which will basically take him out. Although, for all intents and purposes, as far as Phantasm knows, it was his forbidden fell slash.
I just kind of like look down at my knives, like, what the heck?
And now the three of you have, well, you turn around and there's Lutra and Doppel Lutra, and regular Lutra has Doppel Lutra in a full Otter Nelson.
I just take my knives and tuck them behind my belt, and I just look at Lucian and just tell him to finish him.
Finish him. Oh, Lutra, you heard the man.
Uh, so what's this? I've done this before, I know, but what's this strength like?
When you have somebody grabbed, you can exert your rank of your strength as damage without having to roll to hit. So whatever Lutra's strength
It's
is,
7.
add 50. So that would be plus 15 to that. So it'd be a DC 22 check if you want to just exert your strength as damage.
I'll do that.
Well, he'll take another bruise as you clench down harder on the full otter.
Give him a big otter hug.
Yeah, well, it is his turn, and actually, is that 7 with the increased strength for grabbing?
No, actually.
Because that would apply here.
Oh, it does? I thought it was just the escape. Okay, yeah, it's actually plus
This
4.
is part of a grab
No,
thing. So this
Yeah,
Oh.
your strength is increased
Yeah,
for any part of
that
the
would be-
this applies.
It'd be 11, actually.
In that case, that's a 26. So it's not going to affect his roll at all for now, but he still takes a bruise.
Gotcha.
And it is now his turn. And he's kind of power stunting here. So I'm going to need an opposed strength check. Your 11 will apply here, so it's going to be for you a d20 plus 11 versus his strength. And if he succeeds, I will explain what he's trying to do. Unfortunately, because of your increased grip, so what he's trying to do is he was trying to use his tail to spring up, and he was basically trying to use his tail as momentum to charge attack you into Malkir.
Ooh.
But you managed to hold him steady, so he smashes his tail on the ground to try and get the momentum, and he starts getting up, and then you just sort of slam him back to the ground.
Nice.
Phantasm's up.
That was a cool trick. I want to try that next time. By the way,
Okay.
stop squirming.
So I
He
noticed.
doesn't say anything.
I noticed Lutra sort of continuously flailing his tail around. So Phantasm reaches into his sleeveless trench coat and pulls out his pistol and shoots at the Dark Lutra's tail.
Roll to hit. You hit the tail. By shooting, apparently you found the weak spot of Dark Lutra. So you hit the tail, and there is yelping galore. OPT, would you mind?
Ah!
Thank you. As this Doppellutra fades away, and as the full Otter Nelson is sort of dissolved, you hear a tink, 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 tink as something falls to the ground from where the fake Lutra was in the full Otter hut.
Lucha looks at the ground.
It's a coin.
Lucha tilts his head, reaches down, picks up the coin. Looks at it.
Specifically, it's that coin that you should now all have access to.
Lucha looks at this and just kind of curiously holds it. It's like, what is this thing?
As for what that coin is, and as for what Anton's been doing this whole time, you'll have to tune in next time to find out. We are going live Friday as well for a special Friday edition, and that's going to be issue 2.5, Future Perfect. Until then, thank you all very much for watching. Have a great rest of your evening. Adios.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.